Hello, hello, hello. Good people. Um, Hi Jacqueline. It is I'm solo dolo today, Jacqueline. Uh Black Life isn't here. Taj Mitt, she's doing some evaluations or something. So it's just me and Michael's in the background giving me some help. So thank you, Michael. He's gonna be working the chats for me. Um Today I want to talk about this interview that Kamala Harris did with the National Association of Black Journalists. That's what's going on today. Um, I have not watched it yet, so this is going to be like a blind reaction. Uh, so let's see what she has to say. There we go. Yep, yep. All right, so let me go ahead and start it. And I hope you're having a good day today, Jacqueline. Okay.
Madam Vice President, thank you so much for doing this and making the time.
Of course.
Just a little bit busy right now. We want to start on an issue that Americans across the country say is their number one concern, and that's the economy. A question that has been asked of you and everybody that's on the Democratic side is whether or not voters are better off now than they were 4 years ago. Are they better off now than they were 4 years ago?
So when we came into, well, first of all, let me just say, it is good to be with the National Association of Black Journalists, and I thank you for the work you do and that your members do every day. It is very important that we ensure that this organization and your members always have the resources and the platforms to deliver the voices that must be heard. So I thank you for hosting me today. 4 years ago, when we came in during the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. We came in during the worst public health epidemic in centuries. We came in after the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And a lot of it due in large part to the mismanagement by the former president as it relates to COVID and obviously January 6th. And we had then a lot of work to do to clean up a mess. As of today, we have created over 16 million new jobs, over 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. We have the lowest Black unemployment rate in generations. We have invested in small businesses, and they're to the benefit of many people, but including Black small businesses, some of the highest rate of creation of new Black small businesses in years.
Okay. That was like this lady here. She's just gonna make me so angry. Where do I begin? We're only 2 minutes in, and she's already lying. Okay. People, just because people started a business doesn't mean that business is profitable. So a lot of people started businesses during the pandemic when they couldn't lost their job or couldn't go to work. So that's not even a big deal. I gotta do my little scrunchy thing because for some reason I'm a little shaky today. So I figured this might help. So Black unemployment is the lowest it's been in years. Okay. They're not good jobs though. So that's not something that's impressing me. A lot of small businesses are set to change hands with all the boomer business owners retiring. Yeah. And a lot of those jobs are going to go away too. And yes, this is a stress thingy. I'm a little stressed today. So all right, let's get back to what she's saying. Oh, and another thing I want to point out if y'all knew all of, if what she's saying is true, then why did they only give us $1,200 during the pandemic? Like, who's supposed to survive off of $1,200, a one-time payment of $1,200? Like, what is that? Okay. All right, here we go.
We have done the work of capping the cost of prescription medication for our seniors for issues like insulin. And again, I'm speaking to the Black journalists who care about all people, but in particular, I'll talk about the impact on Black people, where we know Black folks are 60% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes. And we have now finally capped the cost of insulin for our seniors at $35 a month, capped the cost of prescription medication for our seniors at $2,000 a year because.
Okay, that doesn't even go into effect for like 10 years or something. The way they, I think it starts in 10 years, and then that's not going to help anybody because the next administration can come in and do away with that whatever they did. So it's just a ruse, I think. Yeah, Rondo's here. Rondo, yes. Run me my money. Yeah, they still owe us money. Coming around asking for money, asking us to chip in for democracy. What a joke. All right. Come on, lady.
We, unlike the former president who promised to do it, we finally have allowed Medicare to negotiate drug prices against the big pharmaceutical companies. And these are just some of the accomplishments. Is the price of groceries still too high? Yes. Do we have more work to do? Yes. And I will tell you, I do believe that I offer a new generation of leadership for our country that is about, in particular, turning the page on an era that sadly has shown us attempts by some to incite fear, to create division in our country, and to do the work that is about bringing some level of optimism and, dare I say, ambition about what I know is possible in our country. And so my plan for the economy includes what I imagine and believe and call an opportunity economy. What we can do to grow an opportunity economy where all people have access to the resources to compete, to apply their incredible work ethic, their ambition, their aspirations, and their dreams, and actually not just get by, but get ahead. And I can talk in more detail about it, but specifically, I'll mention a few things.
Yeah. Okay. She keeps talking about this opportunity economy where people have, you hear the language, access, right? That having access doesn't mean you actually have the thing. That just means you have a way to get it, but it's like access to healthcare. Shoot, anybody can have access. Is it affordable? If I have access to the opportunity economy, what kind of jobs are these those gig jobs? Because they want most people to be gig workers these days.
One of the big issues that affects people right now in terms of the economy and their economic well-being is we have a shortage of housing supply. It's too expensive. People can't afford to buy a home. We grew up, our parents, where they had the ability to somehow believe the American dream was attainable. Not so much for younger working people. And I recognize that. So my approach is a new approach, which is to say, let's just take this and deal with it head on. And part of my approach is to say, I'm going to employ and engage the private sector, in particular home builders with tax credits, to give them the incentive to create new housing, 3 million by the end of my first term, and understanding that not everybody is, handed a silver spoon, but works hard and is trying to save up for a down payment. Part of my plan under my opportunity economy is to give first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance so they can just get their foot in the door to be able to then engage in what will prove to be their opportunity to build intergenerational wealth. And here's my personal experience coming at that.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, Rondo, tossing word salads like a Diddy party. Oh my gosh. She doesn't mention BlackRock buying up all of the homes, making the prices for housing go up through the roof. She doesn't mention the gouging that landlords are doing. I think I can't remember the name of the company, but I think there's a lawsuit for them because it's a website where you put in the address and it'll tell you how much you should be getting for rent based on that address. And they were purposely like raising the market value to telling landlords what's the going market rate is. So and the landlord's like, oh, okay, I'm justified in charging this because that's what I was told. And that's another reason why rents are going up. So this tax credit that she's talking about, how does that help you get a down payment? Like, it's just a ruse. And of course, I'm just going to take a wild guess. They're not going to ask her a follow-up question. I bet. They're going to let her get away with this. Yeah, there isn't a shortage of housing. There isn't a shortage of housing. Has anyone watched Second Thought's recent video about why people can't afford housing? Really interesting. No, but I will watch that. Thank you. Oh, is it called Real Page? Thank you, Michael. I can't remember. AI price fixing. Horrible. All right, let's get back to her.
I grew up a middle-class kid.
Oh, here she goes.
She raised me and my sister Maya. She saved up, and it was only by the time I was a teenager that she could afford to actually buy her first home. And I know, and I identify with, I know where I come from.
Madam Vice President.
And I know, but I'm just going to finish. I know that so many people work so hard and should have the opportunity to just get their foot in the door. Again, so it's not just about getting by, but getting ahead. Please.
I'd like to ask you more about the opportunity economy. Housing is a part of it, as well as expanding the earned income tax credit, financial support, as you mentioned, for first-time buyers, and a $50,000 tax deduction for startups and small businesses. But I want to talk to you about the squeeze that millions of Americans are also dealing with that impacts their ability to work and make money, and that is childcare and elder care. And it's a squeeze for millions of people. In some parts of the country, it costs more for childcare than for rents. I think Bloomberg recently reported an average of $33,000 a year. So I'm just wondering, you mentioned that in your opportunity economy, a child tax credit, but that's just one part of an ecosystem. Please tell us, what plans will you propose to guarantee that families can actually afford childcare and elder care?
So to your point, it is sadly the state of affairs in our country that working people often have to decide to either be able to work or be able to afford childcare. Like they can't afford childcare and actually do the work that they want to do because it's too expensive and it doesn't actually level out in terms of the expense versus the income. My plan is that no working family should pay more than 7% of their income in childcare. Because I know that when you talk about the return on that investment, allowing people to work, allowing people to pursue their dreams in terms of how they want to work, where they want to work, benefits us all. It strengthens the entire economy. We saw, for example, during the pandemic, what happened. And it sadly has dissipated as a conversation that we need to resuscitate, which is the number of women that had to leave the workforce because of a lack of childcare and home health care. And so many of our families, and particular women, end up carrying the responsibility. Men do too, of course. What we call people who are in the sandwich generation.
Exactly.
Who have young children and are also taking care of their parents. And it is just absolutely too expensive for them to be able to work and do that. So my plan is not only about 7% of income for working people for childcare, but also we need to do better for our childcare providers and our home healthcare providers in terms of ensuring that they receive the wages that they deserve based on the dignity of their work. I have spent time with home healthcare providers, and their work is some of the most taxing work you can imagine. And I actually, when my mother was sick with cancer, did a lot in terms of taking care of her. And the work that is about taking care of a loved one, in particular an elder, is extraordinarily heavy in terms of the emotional toll, the time it takes. And we do it because that is what we do. But not everyone has the ability to take time from work to do it. And they need help. And we need to make sure we have home health care workers that can help them. But I want to also get back to the earlier point that you made about extending the child tax credit. So part of my new approach is we need to expand the child tax credit. And so part of my plan that is under an opportunity economy is to extend and expand the child tax credit to $6,000 so that young families in particular, for the first year of their child's life, which is an extraordinarily important time in their development, have the resources to be able to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy children's.
This woman, Obama, she is married to a billionaire, pocket watching poor folk. She has no sense of self-awareness and doesn't comprehend how utterly gross she actually is. You hit the nail on the head, Rondo. And happy birthday, by the way. They say it's your birthday. Da-da-da-da-da. Remember that? It's my birthday too. Hi, Cobra. Cobra's in the house? Wrong. You need to provide the ability for parents to stay at home and raise their kids, not cheaper, better childcare so the parents can keep working. Are we talking universal, what they call it? Universal basic income, perhaps, Cobra? So what else did I miss in here? Yeah, Obama knows where she's from, but we don't know where she's from. Well, she's from the middle class. Aren't they all from the middle class? Okay. Yeah, these aren't solutions to me. It's just a bunch of nothing. Paid time off and job security for one is better than UBI under capitalism. Paid time off and job security under capitalism. Well, I mean, a lot of these jobs are becoming automated. I just saw a manufacturing plant that had nothing but robots in it. So It's coming.
clothing and not have to worry about whether they're going to be able to meet their other needs. And I don't need to remind anybody here, especially these esteemed journalists, but when we expanded the child tax credit a couple years ago, we reduced Black child poverty by half. And so again, if you talk about the benefit and if you think about the benefit to the economy overall, it strengthens our economy to do things like pay attention to affordable childcare, affordable home health care, and extending the child tax credit.
Madam Vice President, Black men, as you know, are a closely watched voting bloc. You've hosted Black men at your residence.
Yep.
You have engaged Black men and centered them in your economic opportunity tour.
Mm-hmm.
But polling shows that some Black men, particularly young Black men, are considering voting for Donald Trump. What is your message to young Black male voters who feel left out of this economy, and how can your economic policies materially change their lives?
So I appreciate the spirit of the question, but I'll tell you, I've often been asked this question in a way that I've had to respond by first saying that I think it's very important to not operate from the assumption that Black men are in anybody's pocket. Black men are like any other voting group. You got to earn their vote. So I'm working to earn the vote, not assuming I'm going to have it because I am Black, but because the policies and the perspectives I have understands what we must do to recognize the needs of all communities. And I intend to be a president for all people.
She Black? I mean, the one thing she did say that was true was she's going to be a president for all peoples, because she's not going to do anything specifically for the Black voters. So, and no, that woman is not Black. It's kind of insulting, in my humble opinion.
Specifically as it relates to what we need to do, to your point around economic opportunity. Yes, I started way before I was at the top of the ticket at what I called an economic opportunity tour, focused on Black men. Understanding that, for example, we have so many entrepreneurs in the community who do not have access to capital, but they've got great ideas, an incredible work ethic, the ambition, the aspiration, the dream, but don't have the relationships necessarily. So my work has included, as vice president, getting billions more dollars into community banks, including working with the big banks to do that, so that we can increase access to capital for our small businesses, for our startups. Part of my plan under my economic opportunity plan going forward is that right now, startup entrepreneurs, small businesses only get a tax deduction of $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. So I'm expanding that to $50,000. Understanding, again, that when people have the opportunity to have the resources to get started, they're going to put the good ideas, they're going to put the hard work into it. And part of what I also know is that our young Black men, our Black men, just like any group of people, anybody, our small businesses are really the backbone of our economy overall. And when they do better economically, we all do better. Part of my work.
So if small businesses are the background of the, what's wrong with my clicker? Shucks. If small businesses are the backbone of the economy, then why do they allow so many monopolies? I call bullshit. She is just placating to us. So, and she doesn't think we have the common sense to figure that out. It's really insulting. What's Cobra say? She means when she was Diddy parties, she really focused on Black men. Rondo seems to think that Obama hates Black men. But you let her tell it right here. She loves us. many times I'm clicking, right? It's not working. Here we go.
Work is about understanding what we need to do in dealing with, for example, the historic inequities that have faced the Black community around home ownership, right? I don't have to go through the history with anybody here about what that has meant in terms of redlining, what that has meant in terms of biases and home appraisals, and what the impact it has had on stemming the opportunity to build intergenerational wealth because of those obstacles. So part of the work that I have done and will continue to do is identify, speak truth about those obstacles, and address them. Another example is medical debt. 1 in 4 Black families or individuals is more likely to carry medical debt than others. So part of my perspective, and as vice president, part of the work that we have done is to say that we're going to eliminate medical debt from being on your credit score. Because until now, medical debt worked against your credit score, and people know their credit score like your weight, right? You know that number. And the difference between what that number is and what it needs to be is the difference between you being able to get a car loan, a small business loan, or even a leasing on an apartment. And so part of my approach is understanding the obstacles.
You really think she's going to take medical debt off of so it won't affect your credit score? Does anyone really believe that? Hi, boss man? Base man. Dang, I can't see. Kamala Harris has no Black blood in her body unless you got a transfusion of Black donor. Oh my gosh. Yes, Rondo. So basically her plan is to undo all the policies that Biden implemented 30 years ago. That's her huge idea. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And why weren't you doing this already? Like, you're the vice president, ma'am. Like, hello, you could have been doing some of this stuff that you keep talking about. But sure, I guess you got to be president first before you can do that. Do all these amazing things that you want to do for us. I'm buying it. And she keeps talking about this housing issue, but you notice they didn't bring up any like really good follow-up questions about our housing crisis.
That traditionally and currently exist to allow anyone, including Black men, be able to achieve economic wealth. And I'm going to tell you, I don't think it is sufficient to just only talk about economic policy around reducing unemployment. It is an important marker, and I'm proud of the work that we've done thus far, but it should be a baseline there. Everybody's working. The point is, do people have an opportunity to build wealth? If that's what they choose to do, if that's what they want to do. And a lot of my perspective as we go forward is just that. I believe that there are a lot of opportunities that are available to the American people if we see people and understand what they want for themselves and their families, and then meet them where they are.
Madam Vice President.
What the hell is she talking about? Okay, first of all, Black wealth is in the same place it was since the Civil Rights Movement. Same place. You are in the administration. Biden, why haven't you done anything about that? She is like full of shit. Yeah, what she's gonna do is she's proposing to clean up messes that they made. Yeah, real novel. 100% on you undoing the Biden policies. Yeah, we just need to see people. Problem solved. That's like I don't see color. Let me just, I could just see you. Look in the eye when I lie to you. It'll be much easier.
I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about the war in Gaza. You've called for a ceasefire hostage deal and a two-state solution as an end to the war for many months now. And while you've expressed support for Israel to defend itself, a two-state solution and a ceasefire are at odds with what Benjamin Netanyahu has said is their right to defense. If it matters, as you say, how Israel defends itself, where do you see the line between aggression and defense? And our power as Israel's ally to do something?
Okay, a lot to unpack in what you just said. So let's start with this. I absolutely believe that this war has to end, and it has to end as soon as possible. And the way that will be achieved is by getting a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal done. And we are working around the clock to achieve that end. Stepping back, October 7, 1,200 Israelis were slaughtered.
Oh, gosh. October 7th. Hi, Richard. Richard Neal Bay. Peace to you. Thank you for stopping in. Oh, man. The way... Where do I begin? Okay. First of all, she knows Netanyahu doesn't want a two-state solution. She knows this. If you really wanted to do something about it, why you keep sending money over there? Why? How many billions of dollars have we sent to Israel? Just stop sending money. Tell them you're not going to send any more money if they don't come up with a solution. Kamala Trump. Kamala. What's her name? Kamala. They both the same damn person when it comes to Palestine. We got to have Israel win faster. Yeah. Like everything's coming out of her mouth right now is a lie. And it is hilarious. It's unfucking believable is what it is.
Actually, and some Americans, by the way, in that number, slaughtered. Young people who were attending a concert, women were horribly raped. And yes, so I have said
they keep
Israel
lying.
has a right to defend itself. We would. And
But Madam Vice President, I think my ask is the difference between aggression and defense.
No, but it's important to put it in context, which is what I'm doing, and I'll get to that. And so how it does so matters. And far too many innocent Palestinians have been killed. Women and children. We have seen with horror the images coming out of Gaza. And we have to take that seriously. And we have to agree that not only must we end this war, but we have to have a goal of a two-state solution, because there must be stability and peace in that region, in as much as what we do in our goal is to ensure that Israelis have security and Palestinians in equal measure have security, have self-determination and dignity.
A question for you on that, though. What levers does the U.S. have to support Palestinians in their right to self-determination? And is it even possible as Israel's ally?
Well, absolutely. I will tell you, I have been actively involved in, for example, meeting not only with Israeli officials, but with Arab officials to talk about how we can construct a day after scenario where we participate in ensuring those exact goals that I outlined, including as part of the principles that should be applied to those goals, that there be no reoccupation of Gaza, that there be no changing of the territorial lines in Gaza, that there be an ability to have security in the region for all concerned, in a way that we create stability, and let us also recognize in a way that ensures that Iran is not empowered in this whole scenario in terms of the peace and stability of the region. But absolutely, the United States of America absolutely has a role, which is why we have been active, in particular with the Qataris and the Egyptians, around attempting to get a deal done and get it done as quickly as possible.
But Madam Vice President, just to follow up really quickly, is there a specific policy change that you, as President of the United States, would say you would do that would help this along? Because you've gotten a lot of credit for emphasizing the humanity of Palestinians. But what I often hear from folks is that there's no policy change that either you or President Biden have gone and said they would do. Is there a specific policy change as president that you would do in our helping of Israel?
We need to get this deal done.
Okay, well, at least he did some pushback, so that's good. That's good, because he didn't let her slip through the cracks with that one. Okay, you recognize their humanity. Okay, duh. Like, hi, Sean. Yo. I'm gonna get back to that, but I did want to point out something that I thought was interesting. Okay, Cobra. Reaganomics was real bad for Black communities, and things weren't much better for everyone else, considering workers' rights pretty much didn't exist. But if you talk to white moderates, the 1980s was the best time ever. Curious. Yeah, best time for them. They didn't have to deal with redlining. And they got, a leg up from the New Deal, which Black people were excluded from. So yeah, I bet it was great for them. All right, so back to what she's saying. All right, I'm just going to read these last two chats. Michael says, two-state solution, when you accomplish the impossible of pleasing everybody. I mean, technically, I think they need to leave. They need to go. Let Germany up. Germany is the one who... They need to go to Germany. Go make a two-state solution over there. Laughs. Even Qatar and Egypt are puppets of America. That's like saying Iraq are our allies. And you see how she wants to go to Iran so bad. They really, really, really want to go to war with Iran. Jacqueline says, Israel will never be satisfied with its borders. It'll always want to expand. Israel's a settler colony and shouldn't have existed in the first place. Never should have happened. Never should have happened. Yeah, you've seen that. You've seen Netanyahu's new Israel map. He wants all of Jordan. He wants it all. I wonder if I could pull that up, his map. If you haven't seen it.
And we need to get it done immediately. And that is my position, and that is my policy. We need to get this deal done.
But in the way that we send weapons, in the way that we interact as their ally, are there specific policy changes?
Well, Eugene, for example, one of the things that we have done that I am entirely supportive of is the pause that we've put on the 2,000-pound bombs. And so there is some leverage that we have had and used. But ultimately, the thing that is going to unlock everything else in that region is getting this deal done. And I'm not going to disclose private conversations, but I will tell you, I've had direct conversations with the Prime Minister, with the President of Israel, with Egyptian leaders, and with our allies. And I think we've made ourselves very clear this deal needs to get done in the best interest of everyone in the region.
Now, you know that's
including
not what
getting
he asked you.
those hostages out who, I mean, we saw the latest example of what happened with the 6 most recently, one of whom was an American citizen.
But what do you say to those that say that's not enough, that stopping the 2,000-pound bombs the one time wasn't enough, that this administration, your possible administration, has to do more?
Well, we are doing the work of putting
Yes, stay on her
pressure
neck.
on all parties involved to get the deal done. But let me be very clear also. I support Israel's ability to defend itself. And I support the need for Palestinians to have dignity, self-determination, and security as we move forward and get a two-state deal done. But right now, the thing we need to get done is this hostage deal and the ceasefire deal. We need a ceasefire. We need a hostage deal.
I want to switch gears to racial justice, Madam Vice President. Last month, you eulogized Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee.
Yeah.
Jackson Lee's signature bill, one of a few, was.
Okay, wait, because they're about to talk about something else. So I want to wrap this part up. I'm glad he stayed on her neck. She did not like that either. She did not like that shit. Israel-Ukraine conflict is interwoven. The whole thing is operating under the lie and cover-up of Eastern Europe Nazi past and future. Well said, Cobra. Well said, Cobra. Israel was a Rothschild creation through the, is that an acronym, BAAL, for declaration? Yeah, it was strategic, very strategic to put them there. Something's flying around here. Thank you very much.
Uh-oh. Looks like Abby just dropped out all of a sudden. Hopefully she'll be back in just a moment. Looks like here she's popping right back in. So there you are, Abby.
Okay, thank you for finding that map.
Yeah, no problem.
Why knock me out of here? So let me take you back to her, and then I'll show the map again. All right. Uh-oh. There we go.
H.R. 40, which would create a commission to study the history of U.S. slavery and study the issue of reparations. She introduced H.R. 40 every session of Congress, taking up the mantle from Congressman John Conyers. This is a bill that you have co-sponsored as a U.S. Senator. Yet, despite the fact that this has been, similar commissions have been created on the state level and on the local level, is yet to pass in Congress, let alone come out of committee. Congresswoman Jackson Lee, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, and other advocates have called for President Biden to take executive action to create this commission. Would you, as president, take executive action to create this commission, or do you believe that it should happen in Congress?
Well, first of all, as you mentioned, Sheila Jackson Lee, she was an extraordinary leader.
Hold on. I already know what she's going to say. I already know what she's going to say. This is, first of all, what is there to discuss? Run me my money. But she's going to say she wants Congress to do it because she knows it's not going to get done. So she could just blame it on Congress. I bet you that's what she's going to say. I could almost hear it coming out of her mouth. People are seeing through this party and their bullshit, but they act like Republicans are better. That shit is the problem. Thank you, Black Life. Okay. Oh, so Baal is a deity. Laugh out louds. Baal is a deity. See, when invaders came to the Middle East, their culture correctly called and labeled them their evil gods. I mean, if they come to kill and SA and steal, that's who they are. Over time, Baal and the other gods become associated with Satan and evil as a joke or urban legend in Western Christian societies. The game Diablo, for example. Thank you very much, Cobra. Okay, so let's get back to her so she could lie to us some more.
Lost, and she was a friend and a real champion for so many issues. So I feel compelled to say that about her. On the issue of what we need to do going forward, look, first of all, we just need to speak truth about history in spite of the fact that some people are trying to erase history and try and teach our children otherwise. We need to speak truth about the generational impact of our history in terms of the generational impact of slavery, the generational impact of redlining, of Jim Crow law. I could go on and on and on.
So cut the damn check.
These are facts that have had impact. And we need to speak truth about it. And we need to speak truth about it in a way that is about deriving solutions. And frankly, I think that we, and part of that is studying it to figure out exactly what we need to do. But part of what we can do right now is, for example, what I'm talking about in terms of building an opportunity economy, which is addressing explicitly the obstacles that historically and currently exist and dealing with them. Student loan debt, medical debt, bias in home appraisals. What we need to do in terms of dealing with an issue that I have championed for years, Black maternal mortality, which is the fact that Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in connection with childbirth than other women. And we know that the reasons for that include disparities that pre-exist her pregnancy, including disparities that exist in the system during her pregnancy. So all of those things must be addressed.
Do you have a position on whether that should happen, this commission should happen through executive order or via Congress?
I think Congress ultimately will have the ability to do this work. I'm not discounting the importance of any executive action, but ultimately Congress. Because if you're going to talk about it in any substantial way, there will be hearings, there will be a level of public education and dialogue that, and I think that was part of the spirit behind the congressional action thus far, to ensure that everyone can participate in this conversation in a way that elevates knowledge about history and the reference points that have that are the impetus of this conversation. Especially again when people are trying to deny history, when people are, so-called leaders are saying that enslaved people benefited from slavery. I mean, let's talk about the delta here in terms of the work that needs to be done. It's profound.
Madam Vice President, I want to move to
Okay, but you didn't answer the damn question.
Yeah.
There, we've seen school closures, parents worried about their kids leaving the home.
She didn't answer the damn question. Do y'all remember when college used to be free? Dub says student loan debt is your own problem. I disagree. Because an educated society is a matter of national security. So yeah, I disagree. It's just public school, just 4 more years. Now, if you want to go to a private institution and pay, you could. So yeah, just wanted to let you know that. I'm gonna laugh a little bit. Opportunity isn't shit when it's guarded by them, the elites. Laugh a little bit. What is she doing with that microphone? She's holding it like a peen she don't want to touch. Ew. You're silly, Sean. All right.
Because of racist conspiracy theories that I won't repeat here, but they have been repeated by leaders on the Republican side, President Trump, former President Trump, and Vice Presidential nominee J.D. Vance. From your perspective, is this just a case of irredeemable racism that can't be mitigated by any rational action, or is this a situation in which a federal response could help this community heal? There's a question of resources and
Well, no, I'll let you finish and then I'll speak.
No.
It's a crying shame. I mean, my heart breaks for this community. You know, there were children, elementary school children.
Let me address that. Okay. College isn't for everyone. You're right, Dub. College isn't for everyone. And it never has been. You're right. So when I think college should be free, and I think trade schools should be free. Because you are educating a society, so it'll be a good society all the way around. So yeah. Yep.
It was school photo day. You remember what that's like? Going to school on picture day? Who were dressed up in their best, got all ready, knew what they were going to wear the night before, and had to be evacuated. Children. A whole community put in fear. And I'll say a couple things about it. One, you know, I learned a long time ago in my career, having a background as a prosecutor, when you have these positions, when you have that kind of microphone in front of you, you really ought to understand at a very deep level how much your words have meaning. I learned at a very young stage of my career that the meaning of my words could impact whether somebody was free or in prison. As Attorney General, I was of California, fifth largest economy in the world. I was acutely aware that my words could move markets. When you are bestowed with a microphone that is that big, there is a profound responsibility that comes with that. That is an extension of what should not be lost in this moment, this concept of the public trust. To then understand what the public trust means. It means that you have been invested with trust to be responsible in the way you use your words, much less how you conduct yourself.
Girl, are you serious right now? That's why we don't trust you. You kept prisoners in prison way past their time for the free labor. You were trying to lock up parents for truancy. I mean, what is she talking about? Oh my gosh, she is so irritating. Duh, these friendly questions are still giving the smart, clueless person a problem. Yeah. Jacqueline just figured out what a peen is. Oh, Jacqueline, we love ya. Okay, it's not just one being educated that benefits. It's the whole of society that benefits from that education. That is correct. And I don't know why she's holding that microphone like that. Very strange. All right.
And especially when you have been and then seek to be again President of the United States of America. And so I go back to, it's a crying shame, literally. What's happening to those families, those children in that community, not to mention what is happening in terms of, look, you say you care about law enforcement resources being put into this because of these serious threats that are being issued against a community that is living a productive, good life before this happened. And spewing lies that are grounded in tropes that are age old. And look, I said it not very far from here the other day at the debate. This is not new. This is not new in terms of these tropes. This is not new in terms of where it's coming from. And, you know, whether it is refusing to rent to people, rent to Black families, whether it is taking out a full-page ad in the New York Times against 5 innocent Black and Latino teenagers, the Central Park 5, calling for their execution.
Girl, stop. What about whether it is trying to keep schools segregated because you don't want your child in a racial jungle? That's your president. The one that she basically implied during the debate that he was a racist. Remember that child was me? That child was me. So, yeah. Hi, Leah. Leah Neely. She is awful, yes. They both are awful. Yeah. I'm trying to pay attention to what Kamala is saying. But it's so hard. She's so boring and so full of bullshit. That she is very much full of bullshit. I mean, Joe Biden is no better than Trump when it comes to Black people. And neither are you, because you ain't Black either.
Whether it is referring to the first Black president of the United States with a lie, birther lies. And look, the American people deserve, and I do believe want better than this. I do believe that. I know. The vast majority of us as Americans know we have so much more in common than what separates us. I know that. I know that regardless of someone's background, their race, their gender, their geographic location, I know that people are deeply troubled by what is happening to that community in Springfield, Ohio. And it's got to stop. And we've got to say that you cannot be entrusted with standing behind the seal of the President of the United States of America, engaging in that hateful rhetoric that, as usual, is designed to divide us as a country, is designed to have people pointing fingers at each other. It's designed to do that. And I think most people in our country, regardless of their race, are starting to see through this nonsense and to say, you know what, let's turn the page on this. This is exhausting and it's harmful and it's hateful and grounded in some age-old stuff that we should not have the tolerance for. So let's turn the page and chart a new way forward and say, you can't have that microphone again.
Madam Vice President, I'm switching gears again.
Okay.
Quick question. I want to talk to you about gun control.
It's only like 15 minutes left. I wanted to catch some of these comments because, yeah, you guys are doing good in the comments. Springfield, Ohio. So you are talking about illegals. They don't have rights here. You Dems are an abortion to the Constitution and everything America stands for. Dems are. So you think the Republicans aren't? Because we're being run by oligarchs. And you think the Republicans don't want those illegals here? Well, no human is illegal, so I shouldn't be calling them illegals. But you think the Republicans don't want them here for cheap labor? Because they do. Mike Pompeo, when he left the administration and went back to private to work privately, he works at a law firm, and their sole purpose in that law firm is to represent CEOs who have illegals working at their companies to make sure they don't go to jail. So don't be fooled now, Dub. Don't be fooled. But I did want to mention, about her trust. Let me put this up here real quick. This guy is innocent and they still killed him. His name is, Jacqueline wrote it. I can't find it now. I forgot his name. Sorry. Maybe it's here. I don't know where it is. She did nothing about, there it is, trying to stay the execution of Khalif Williamson, even though he was an innocent man. Correct. And then Cobra said, well, shit, she's VP right now. She could have saved Marcellus Williams. Even Marcellus Williams, the victim's family did not want him to be executed. And he was innocent, right? I think DNA proved that it wasn't him. They still killed him. So miss us with that. Sean, you must be talking about Dub. No, I mean, when I say no human is illegal, I'm saying their humanity. I don't like to call people illegals. That's a dehumanizing word to call them that. And it's used on purpose. This isn't Earth's country, it's America. Okay. Okay. Plus, ain't no illegals in Ohio. Again, I'm from Ohio. Those are hardworking Americans. Dub. Oh, I'm not going to say unlike you. Ooh. See, you don't know what taxation without representation means. Illegals are not citizens. Neither are Ukrainians or anyone else. Meanwhile, North Carolina victims of hurricane get $750. Give me a break. I do know that that they're not citizens. They're undocumented workers. And they pay taxes. You can't work and not pay taxes. They're not Americans. You have your family probably still abroad and you want them to come to America. Didn't Trump bring his Melania's parents here? Didn't he?
So you've said you support an assault weapons ban and universal background checks, and we actually learned during the debate that you are a gun owner. But in cities like Philadelphia, handguns are responsible for most homicides and violent crime. The most recent FBI data shows handguns were involved in 59% of murders in our country. How will you address the issue of the use of handguns? Because a push for an assault weapons ban only addresses a significant but small part of the problem.
So, first of all, yes, I am a gun owner, and Tim Walz is a gun owner, and we're not trying to take anybody's guns away from them. But we do need an assault weapons ban. Assault weapons are designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly and have no place, I'm going to get to it.
Yes.
And have no place on the streets of a civil society. We need universal background checks, which, to your point about handguns, is about saying that it is just reasonable to want reasonable gun safety laws that say we should do background checks, that we ought to know. It's just reasonable. You might want to know before someone can buy a lethal weapon, if they've been found by a court to be a danger to themselves or others. You might just want to know.
And respectfully, we do understand that.
But you're asking
Yes.
about...
I'm asking specifically about handguns, because many of those handguns aren't purchased in places.
Universal background checks apply to handguns.
Yes.
They do.
But in
And
many instances, those handguns aren't even bought lawfully. Yes.
Which is why I also have been very adamant for years. In fact, I myself protested at a gun show probably 10, 15 years ago about the gun show loophole and why we need to close that. Because what ends up happening is that gun shows at flea markets, gun dealers are not, under existing law in the past, required to register their sales. And so you are exactly right that a lot of homicides, for example, a good number of them, I don't have the statistic in front of my mind, are committed with illegally purchased guns. And that's why we need to address each entry point in the issue, including universal background checks, closing the gun show loophole, and what we need to do as a general matter to focus not only on reaction to crime, but prevention of crime.
Lady, you're vice president right now. I want to address this. Dub, rubber dub. Ooh, why did I do that? Let me fix that. There we go. So you're saying that in Springfield, Ohio, they didn't invite like 40,000 Haitians, because multiple sources say that's a fact. They are illegal. So, Dub, instead of punching down, you might want to start punching up. Because what America has done to Haiti for at least, for at least the last, I don't know, did it start with Clinton? No, it got worse under the Clintons. That's what happened. It got worse under the Clintons. But America's been messing over Haiti for a long time. So maybe you want to punch up. Just a suggestion. Let's see. All right, let's get back to the guns.
So you're raising a very important issue that has many facets, including what we need to do in terms of reasonable gun safety laws and what we need to do around crime prevention, what we need to do around crime deterrence. But listen, I have personally prosecuted homicide cases. I have held the hands of mothers who have come to me crying, who have said, I only want to talk to Kamala, because they knew when they sat down, I would treat them with the dignity and respect that they were entitled and due, about the loss of their child, often their son, to gun violence and the need to take it seriously. And we must take it seriously in every way, understanding it's not just about a soundbite. It's about a comprehensive approach that deals with the tragedy of, to your point, everyday gun violence in America. It's real. It has had a profound impact in terms of trauma that for the most part has gone undiagnosed and untreated. The trauma that exists in communities around the violence of losing their children, losing a brother, losing a father, an uncle. All of that must be addressed, and we have to have a holistic response to
Are
it.
there things we haven't thought about yet? Because every time we bring up this issue of gun violence,
Okay. Well, one thing, girl, it's too many guns out there. You're not. Good luck. Nobody's going to turn in their assault rifle to you. Hi, John. So, yeah, Dub, you're interesting, Dub. Okay, you're an individualist. You don't want to hear about what the U.S. has done wrong historically. They're still doing it, Doug. Dub. I just called you Doug. They're still doing it. It has nothing to do with you. Yes, it does. Foreign policy has a lot to do with us. Foreign policy and domestic policy. So, yes. Dub. Cobra says we got Ukraine expats and Israeli expats draining Uncle Sam like he's a fucking money cow. And you in here complaining about Mexicans in Ohio. Right? And also, we got, okay, in Mexico, there's all those military bases. All those military bases. How the fuck do all those people get over here? Past all those bases. You can't tell me you don't realize that they are bringing them over here. No, it's had nothing to do with me. I don't know why they are doing what they do. Because they're stealing people's resources. Because they think they can just get away with that shit. Aw, Dub. I laugh because I don't care about the country. All right. You say so.
universal background checks comes up and a ban on assault weapons. Are there other solutions that you're also thinking about that will get at this issue?
Absolutely. For example, part of what we did as vice president and with the president, we were able to pass the first meaningful gun safety legislation in 30 years. And part of what that involved was millions and millions of dollars to put more mental health counselors in public schools, right? Because we know that there is an aspect of this that is about treating the trauma and dealing with it at its source before it ends up manifesting itself in a problem. There is the work that we need to do that is about putting resources into communities around violence prevention. I've been a big advocate of that for.
You know that those smart guns that our Congress banned smart guns. They want us to go willy-nilly. Oh, I don't care about the country. Do you want you damn right I want my reparations. You goddamn right. Oh my gosh. That's not gonna help. Not gonna help who? Who? People like Cobra who have drug dealing brothers will just escalate that game. Oh, okay, so now he's just being racist. Okay, now we're just spiraling into racism. And those who spend all their money will never let go of the past. Let go of the past. They will just keep the grift going. What is a grift? Reparations are owed. What's so grifty about that? What are you talking about? And let go of the past. Y'all cry every year on September 11th. Never forget. So what are you talking about? Dub. You don't deserve reparations for anything. Now I'm a racist because I don't agree with you. No, you're a racist because you are trying to insult somebody in our family, talking about their drug dealing brother. Now, why would you make that assumption that his brother's a drug dealer? Where'd that come from? Whew. All right. Let me jump back in here.
For years, which includes what we need to do around putting resources into community-based intervention that is not just requiring on the good people in the community to volunteer to do the intervention, but actually paying people to do it because it's a full-time job. It's about understanding what we need to do to, again, understand that, to your point, we have to have a holistic response to this issue and prioritize it instead of reacting to the tragedy that sadly they are too predictable. Let's all agree, enough of that. There are very few solutions that we haven't thought of. We need to put the resources into them.
Madam Vice President, we want to move to the topic of reproductive access, something that you have worked and leading on both for the administration, Democrats, and now the top of the ticket. You said that as president, you would want to codify Roe. If it came to your desk, you would sign a bill that did that. Roe protected access until fetal viability, which it also says is, quote, at about 7 months.
Here they go with this. Okay. Obama ran on codifying Roe v. Wade. Biden ran on it. Never happened. Now she wants to run on it. They've had 40 years to codify Roe v. Wade. They had the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. At least twice. No, I'm talking about Obama. I think he had it at least twice. Biden had it once. So with that kind of trifecta, there's a lot of stuff you could have done that you aren't going to do. So we don't believe you, Kamala. But, if she wants, let's just hear her out.
But it may occur earlier, even at 24 weeks. So do you similarly support also codifying Roe's restrictions, which allowed states to ban abortion in the 3rd trimester of pregnancy unless necessary to save the mother's life?
We need to put the protections of Roe v. Wade back into law. And when that bill gets passed by Congress, I will proudly sign it into law. Understand what is happening in our country. Over 20 states have passed what I call Trump abortion bans because I understand how we got here. The former president handpicked 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade. They did as he intended, and in state after state, laws have been passed criminalizing healthcare.
Okay, well, you know what Obama did? He left all those places open, all those court seats open. So, kind of sort of his fault too. And then he should have talked to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Kind of his fault too. Thank you, Jacqueline. Yes, reparations are owed. I just think that the administrative and logistical nightmare of trying to sort out who is entitled to what is one of the reasons. So descendants of freedmen won't get them. Sorry about that. Perhaps you might get more joy campaigning for UBI and a higher payment. No, I want my reparations. Yeah, I want my reparations. Definitely want my reparations. That's labor. Free labor. Okay, so let me dispel this really quickly, Doug. Feudalism and indentured servitude is not the same as chattel slavery. So that's why Africans were selling prisoners of war into what they thought was the slavery that they are used to, which is indentured servitude. Not brutal chattel slavery, where no, all no, 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 all slavery is not slavery. Chattel slavery was the most inhumane type of slavery that has ever been in the history of this world. People got essayed, people got beaten, were forced to fight each other. They own you for life. They owned your children. That's not the same as indentured servitude. So please miss me with that.
Care providers. I don't know if anyone here has heard most recently the stories out of Georgia. Tragic story about a young woman who died because it appears the people who should have given her health care were afraid they'd be criminalized after the Dobbs decision came down. Laws that make no exception even for rape or incest, which means that you're telling a survivor of a crime of a violation to their body that they have no right to make a decision about what happens to their body next, which is immoral. An approach that doesn't take into account that most people, I think, agree you don't have to abandon your faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do with her body. If she chooses, she will talk with her pastor, her priest, her rabbi, her imam, but it should not be the government or Donald Trump telling her what to do about her own body and her life.
All right, girl.
So that's where I stand. We need to put back in place the protection of Roe v. Wade and put that into law.
And those restrictions that are also in.
We need to put back in place the protections of Roe v. Wade and let an individual, in consultation with her doctor, make the decision based on what she can determine, because she's smart enough to know what's in her best interest instead of having her government tell her what to do, especially a bunch of people in these state capitals who think they're in a better position to tell her what to do than she is to know what's in her best interest.
Before we conclude, Madam Vice President, Joyful Warrior has been used to describe
You
your
didn't see that just a minute ago, though. Okay, I'm back to my joyful part.
And your opponent and Republicans have at times weaponized you laughing in campaign ads, for example. Why is joy important to you to insert into this election? And what do you make of Republicans using that as a way to suggest that you're not a serious candidate?
Well, sometimes I think, and I'll say to whoever the young people are who are watching this, there are some times when your adversaries will try and turn your strength into a weakness. Don't you let them. Don't you let them. I find joy in the American people. I find joy and optimism in what I see to be our future and our ability to invest in it. I find joy in the ambition of the people. I find joy in the dreams of the people. I find joy in building community. I find joy in building coalitions. I find joy in believing that the true measure of the strength of a leader is not based on who you beat down, but who you lift up. And I think we should all find joy and have a sense of optimism about who we are as Americans and what we mean to each other and what we can do to lift each other up.
Madam Vice President, President Biden spoke to former President Trump after the attempt on his life this weekend. Have you spoken to him?
I have.
And earlier today, I assume?
Yes.
How'd that go? You want to give us some intel?
Sure. I checked on him to see if he was okay.
Yeah.
And I told him what I have said publicly. There's no place for political violence in our country. I am in this election and in this race for many reasons, including to fight for our democracy. And in a democracy, there is no place for political violence. We can and should have healthy debates and discussion and disagreements, but not.
Okay, she is tripping. Oh, did I lose it? I guess I lost it. She said there's no place for political violence. We are
The
like
remarkable thing
the most violent
about
people.
the past couple of months.
Hold on, I gotta do this. Okay, there we go. I don't know what happened. And why wouldn't there be a place for political violence here? Because we have had political violence all the time. It's not like it's something new. And I don't know why they say there's no place for violence when we've
Madam
been
Vice
in.
President, thank you so much for
Hold
doing
on.
this and making the time.
Of course.
Just a little.
Okay,
busy
okay,
right
lady,
now.
hold on. Because we've been in perpetual wars for how many years? So yeah, we are all about violence. We are all about the violence around here. What's going on in this chat? Jacqueline, half expecting sentimental music to start playing during all of that I find joy crap. Yes, I thought I was going to hear a cackle. Hamas are heroes. Oh, please, you hate America. I mean, Hamas is defending themselves. So I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, they basically live in an open air prison. So yeah. Let me see. Is there anything else? Oh, Bud, what kind of stats you have, Dub? Are y'all having fun with Dub in the chat? You got stats. I wonder. Let me guess what your stat is. Is that the 13% of the population, something percent of the crime bullshit? I bet you. I bet you that's what it is.
And in a democracy, there is no
And also, this is a republic, not a democracy. So I wish they would stop saying that dumb shit.
place for political violence. We can and should have healthy debates and discussion and disagreements, but not resort to violence to resolve those issues.
On January 6th, your vehicle was allowed to kind of pass a viable pipe bomb. We've seen.
No, I was in the building.
You were in the building.
Uh-huh.
And we've seen what's happening with former President Trump. Do you have full confidence in the Secret Service to
I do.
protect all of you?
I do.
You feel safe for you and your family?
I do. But I mean, you can go back to Ohio. Not everybody has Secret Service. And there are far too many people in our country right now who are not feeling safe. I mean, I look at Project 2025 and I look at, like the Don't Say Gay laws coming out of Florida. Members of the LGBTQ community don't feel safe right now. Immigrants or people with an immigrant background don't feel safe right now. Women don't feel safe right now. And so, yes, I feel safe. I have Secret Service protection, but that doesn't change my perspective on the importance of fighting for the safety of everybody in our country, and doing everything we can to, again, lift people up and not beat people down so they feel alone and are made to feel small and made to feel like they're somehow not a part of it or us.
Madam Vice President, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I've appreciated it. Thank you. Thank you.
Now look.
Thank you.
All right. All righty. How did we get through that? Let me stop sharing. Oh, I wanted to share this this Greater Israel map for you. So let me make this bigger. Oh, somehow it's making it smaller. Let's see. There we go. So what is that? Jordan, Syria. They want all of this. And she's over there talking about a two-state solution. Girl, get out of here. You can't see that, right? Okay, good. All right. Let me just see what's in the chat, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. What is going on, Dub? And that makes you laugh. Hamas struck first, and that's not their land anyways. That's not their land. Hamas people will not agree, but you don't read the Bible. No, I do not read the Bible. No. Sure don't. Read the Bible. Oh my gosh. I don't know what he's saying right there, so I'm not even gonna read that. Deny the facts and go with your truth then. Biden said you love truth and not facts. I don't give a damn what Biden says. I don't give a damn what Biden says, what Trump says, what Harris says, because they all lying. So yeah, you're right. I don't give a damn. Yeah, Jacqueline. Bad Cookies would get in that ass. Wish Bad Cookies was here. I heard the best way to make an atheist is to have them read the Bible. That's pretty much how it happened. I couldn't get past Exodus. I was like, what the hell? And I wish people would, they don't, you haven't read the Bible, Doug. All y'all do is go to church, and half the theologians haven't read the Bible. They learn passages. So please miss me with that. You go read the Bible first. From the rooter to the tutor. Dove, keep watching the show week after week. You've got a lot to learn. Yeah, come on back, Dove. Come on back. Jacqueline. She said she couldn't get past all that begetting. Look at that. Pastors who diddle kids tell you. Oh, what did he say? Oh, you love your Muhammad. Okay. Best example of to humanity. Married an 8-year-old at 50. Muhammad, don't say Gabriel. You're going too fast for me, Michael. Dub, you know that that is a what does it say? Don't say Gabriel. That was not in the bill anywhere. That's a patriarchal thing. I don't know this. In the United States, there are several states where you can get married to a 12-year-old. And many evangelicals do that. So please miss me with that. All right, so I guess I can start start getting up out of here. I don't have any music for you today, though. Usually we like to leave out with some music. I do have my nephew's. I was thinking about playing him, but I couldn't figure out which video to play. So maybe next week I will do that. So, yeah. All right, Michael, thank you so much. Can I bring you on so you can say bye to everybody? Okay.
Hello. I'm Nilo Nostrum, by the way, Dub, in case you're wondering. Just been hanging out in the back or whatever. I'm on Abby's co-host on our other show that we have, Noteworthy, which is on Thursday at 6
5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern.
So if you want to come back, and bother us some more, feel free.
What are we talking about tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Wednesday, which is supposed to Rabbit, which is on this week. There's from what I can tell, there's no show going on tomorrow.
Okay.
So, but then Thursday we'll be back. Noteworthy. We haven't quite picked anything, but I did. I was watching something last night that I think we could at least do a segment of it on. I don't know if I want to spoil it here or keep it a little bit as a teaser, But I did find some little. I don't know if it's a speech or whatever. I found a video segment that I'd like to cover, which a guy was on fire, talking about the Palestine situation. So I'll just leave it at that now so that I don't give the game away. So.
Okay, and then I wanted to talk about. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she just got sentenced to 9 years for voting fraud. She was trying to help Trump win a state and got caught.
Well, I see Dubs calling us bootlickers to reparations.
To reparations.
Coming from someone who's licking the boot of imperialism, nothing you say has any meaning, okay?
Yeah, that's really not how bootlicking works, but okay.
It's projection, okay? But all good,
Yeah.
right?
Wait, he said, what? I don't block. So you missed about 10 comments.
We didn't block you. We can still see you. I don't know
What is he talking about? And who's scared? I've like read a ton of your shit. What are you talking about?
I didn't miss anything. Yeah, we gave you extra plenty coverage there. We didn't need to do that, right? But you could always still get banned if you want, right? I think we would be more of a democracy in the chat type of ban. I don't like just arbitrarily banning somebody, but I think if the entire group doesn't need, we don't need you here. So have a nice day.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah, no. Yeah, every time you say something real or whatever, all of a sudden you got to be glitched out, right? Whatever.
Well, we have mods in there, so we're gonna let them,
Nobody
decide.
times you out.
Nobody times you out.
No, it's YouTube who did it to you. Okay, if you're trying to say some shit to us and it was blocking your comments, that happens to all of us because that's the imperialist boot that you want to lick. You want this to stay this way. You don't want to liberate the working class. You want us all to be fucking slaves. You think it's inevitable and you can't get rid of it. That's the fascist mindset, that this is the way it is, that this is the world, or whatever, and that we might as well get fucking used to it. No, fuck off. Okay?
He says we're censoring him, which we absolutely did not. YouTube did. So, hello, Wolfie.
We're just wrapping up here, but
yeah, we're wrapping up, Wolfie.
If somebody wants to keep pushing buttons, we might still be here for a little while. So.
Oh, I would really love to know from Dub when America was great, though. I think he said something. I think I saw him say something about we hate America and something. I don't know.
Right, because I'm
he's calling you a fascist.
Go ahead and call me the fascist, right? Like I haven't had that happen yet, right? But go ahead and watch our shows, right? If you actually go back and see our content, you go ahead and still claim try and make that claim after you've actually seen what we produce here. So I don't know why we need to waste more time with this guy. So
Cobra forgot he was a mod. Yeah, all the day ones got wrenches. Yes. Doug, no wrench for you. We'll let the chat decide who. I remember somebody came in before and y'all blocked him.
yeah.
I was trying to give him grace, but the chat decided they didn't want him here anymore. So
Yeah, well, I think everyone's in a fairly good mood today, so we'll see how we are next week or whatever. So, is there any announcements or anything we're gonna make? Or
nope. Happy birthday again, Rondo. I hope that your day was everything you wanted it to be. Democracy in the chat.
well, you could hold the vote right now, but I think maybe we could wait until Thursday and see if he wants to come back. Because if he doesn't feel like stalking us a little bit, then he's probably done after tonight. He just wants to get his last kind of digs in. So
This is very strange. So we're Scamala lovers. Did you even watch? Like what? Didn't you just
And
hear me
saying
talking shit
censorship-
about Scamala the whole time?
Censorship is a racist thing. It's a white supremacist racist thing that YouTube is doing. So wake the fuck up and listen to what we're fucking saying. That we are not the racists. Okay? The capitalists or whatever that you like to suck dick for or whatever are the racists, and you don't seem to be able to recognize that. Maybe your eyes are closed. So
I guess because we don't read the Bible.
no, I don't live in my mom's basement. I live in my own fucking apartment or whatever, paying rent I can't afford to a fucking asshole or whatever, and I have issues, right? We don't need to be telling this guy our fucking life story, right? We're trying to wrap up, and he's trying to keep us going, right? Yeah, fuck you. So
Dubs has not been paying attention. To call me a Kamala lover, like what? Were you even watching the
he's just
stream?
making up facts and then telling us that we don't like to listen to facts and stuff. It's classic bullshit, whatever. I don't like to be harsh on like Americans not being so much educated and whatnot, whatever. But it's well known fact that Americans could be a little more educated. Okay, so have some humility. Okay.
Please and thank you. All right, so yeah, we will see you guys on Thursday, hopefully. And I guess that's that, huh?
Yeah. Well, good luck trying to end on a good note, right? But we don't have so much like a video or anything to transition to. But sometimes you just can't. You can't put on a smile for someone who's trying to fuck with you or whatever. So let's not try. So yeah. Have a good night, everyone, and don't let
he's still going.
Yeah. No, I know.
Michael is no incel, baby.
Yeah,
I think he's projecting.
He's trying to keep me going or whatever and get me to fucking try and make a fool of myself, but he doesn't really know who he's talking to. So, hello, Christopher. Good to see you.
Hi, Christopher. Oh, Christopher. Yeah. Peace panel. He loves yeah. Okay. Know what form of government the U.S. Constitution guarantees to each state? It's a republic. We're not a democracy. I pledge allegiance to the republic for which it stands.
It's one of those like trick questions almost, because it's like a democratic republic kind of thing. It's like it's supposed to be a republic where you do have a type of democracy that goes with your republic, but the whole thing to even call it a republic or a democracy is a moot point because it's an oligarchy, right? An empire. It's neither of those two things. So
right.
What it is on paper
now it's
makes no difference.
Right. Now it's basically an oligarchy controlled by corporations. But thanks for popping in, Christopher. It's good to see you. All right. I was just trying to see what else he said, but
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'll read it maybe after we end the stream, because the more that he's trying to get a reaction. So if I go looking for it, then we're feeding the trolls here.
No, he wasn't talking about you that time. He was talking about
Yeah.
America, something about America. He never told me when it was great, though.
But like John's saying, bye, fam. Unless Dub doesn't keep the stream going for another hour.
Okay, what's wrong with Muslims? This is not a Christian nation.
This is you showing your racism, okay? When I say it's projection, I'm fucking not making that up, right? You understand that that's a huge narrative that the white supremacists in the UK have pivoted to, that they don't talk shit about Jews anymore. They've decided that they're going to focus on the Muslims for now. That the Muslims are the problem. It means that the UK, like, are majority white racist, okay? I'm English. I have English blood. Like, that's my my heritage there, okay? And I wish that my people were a better people. They have gravely disappointed me with the way they've decided to handle this global crisis we have, or whatever, you know?
And I've been to the UK. I've been to Paris. There are plenty of Muslim migrants there, and they are doing just fine.
Right. You know,
They didn't ruin anything.
and without them, we would have no good food to eat, right? We'd have no good music to listen to. We'd have no culture really to celebrate. Okay.
Well, Dub seems to be celebrating his culture pretty well.
Yeah, I remember someone asked you earlier in the chat, what happens to be your age and ethnicity there? Because it's not something you are forced to divulge to us, but it is would be a little bit telling to kind of see if you're a coon or not, right?
Oh my gosh. He swears you. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, people don't have good self-esteem. You said the white guy hates himself. People don't have good self-esteem when they're kind of forced to be a wage slave for a fucking, death cult. Okay. If you are happy with yourself, you are profoundly well adjusted to a profoundly sick system. So good for you.
Bad Cookies is here. Bad Cookies. We sure needed you, man. We sure needed you.
Apparently, we've been hanging around just for Bad Cookies to show up or whatever.
Oh, thank you, Wolfie. Yeah, he thinks I'm just a So there you go, Dub. We're a mixed bag in here.
So not only is he racist, it sounds like he's probably homophobic as well. Would there be a problem if I'm effeminate? I'm a straight white man, right? I don't swing that way, but the timbre of my voice, right? The way that I hold myself, it really doesn't have anything to do with being a good or a bad person kind of thing, right? So you're just exposing yourself some more here, okay? So
He wants you to be a Andrew Tate kind of man.
That doesn't really work for me anyways, whatever. If I try to be who I'm not, right, it doesn't really, in case you have, I don't know, maybe you've ever tried it, right? If you try to be somebody who you're not, you think it really works for you, but you want to tell people to fit into these gender roles, whatever, that may or may not fit with their lifestyle. There is a whole thing about being woke. I'm sure he's anti-woke as well, right? So
Yes, she did. Bad Cookie said, Black Life said you were a snack anyway. Yes, he's a snack. Hi, Marcus. Good to see you here.
Yep, good to see you. We were actually hoping to maybe arrange an interview with you potentially on Noteworthy or on Civilian Discourse coming up. So I was going to message you about that on Facebook or something, but I've just been kind of tired today, and I figured I'd get around to it. But since you're here, whatever, I'll just say it out loud, right? So good to see you.
Yep. Cobra's extra, huh? Oh my gosh. I wouldn't be caught dead with you. Oh. No, John. He said more people here go for another hour. Oh no.
Well,
No,
we
no,
did
no,
3 hours last night, so we were hoping to not do that again tonight. So,
Yeah.
but like I said,
Oh,
feel free to come back, Doug, or whatever. We'll do this again on Thursday if you feel like you need to. I think you have some growing to do, so if you want to stop being an asshole and a bigot, right? The door's open, but don't let it hit you on swinging on the way out, right? So.
don't let the doorknob hit you with a good Lord split you, as they say. Oh, I did have one of these.
That's what I'm saying. He's just here to fuck with us just for tonight, and then he's gonna fuck off, right? So.
Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah, what you said that again. You showed that yesterday, and now I'm forgetting what it is. Whatever.
No, I think I showed this one.
Yeah, I thought you showed both of them last night, whatever. But
Oh, did I? Oh, okay, I
Get your
can't
black ass
remember.
down. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. No, this one is okay. I bet if Rondo was here, he'd get it. Shut your ass up before I give you something to cry about.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I said that one last night. Couldn't remember.
A bigot means that you have unreasonable discrimination against somebody there, Dub. Right? It means that you're being
Oh,
rude for no apparent reason, right? You're a whole group of people you have a problem with. You think you have a good reason to have a problem with those people, but it's not a good reason. It's just a bullshit reason. So
this chat was moving. Okay. Yeah, Jacqueline. She said not one of those again. There it is. I know Jacqueline wouldn't have got that. Stop all that damn crying before I give you something to cry about. That is a black mantra. Yeah. Yeah, Marcus, if you don't go sit your black ass down. Marcus knows.
oh, you just did a fucking pager joke. Yeah, I think maybe we should do the democracy in the chat then. Anyone who wants to see Dub continue with his like making a fool of himself, we could put one in the
What
chat.
did he do?
He's saying grab one of their pager when you get back over there, right? That's kind of comment that is definitely across the red line. So anyone wants to see Dub disappear right now, we could put it.
I don't even know what that means.
We're talking about the pager attack or whatever, the terrorist attack that Israel just did or whatever. There are people out there who think it's funny to now point to make pager jokes, right? So yeah, softies, whatever. Fuck you, okay? You'll get what's coming to you, right? Okay, but won't be from me, right? Someone like you or whatever, it's just a matter of time till you meet someone like Cobra in real life or whatever. Then you better fucking be careful, right? With what you fucking let out your mouth.
In his life. You need dick in your life. Oh my gosh. All right. So I know the perfect Cracker Barrel. Oh, he does give you Cracker Barrel vibes, doesn't he? All right. It's right there on 122. Okay. So all right, let's get out of here. And did you do your little one in the chat or two in the chat? They all have wrenches, so
yeah, no, I was
we'll
just
let
saying.
them figure that out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that nobody really wants to see this guy anymore. But he's already said he doesn't really want to come back, whatever. So we'll just wrap it up and then we'll see. So yeah, don't let him get to you, right? Yeah, it's all a learning experience, right? We've been doing this for not quite a year, so we might be a little green, behind the ears on some of this. We have not been such a big channel, so we don't get too many trolls or whatever, right? So it's good to have you here so we can learn how to deal with you, right?
He rubs the baby all. See, Bad Cookie should have been here. Who cows down to Muslims? Like, that doesn't even make sense. You mean like we recognize someone's humanity. Is that cowing down to Muslims?
No, people just
Weird.
like to people that have like integrity and morals and stuff. Other people who don't, they look at us and they're kind of jealous, right? So then they have to tear us down, I guess. So, whatever.
But thanks for the views. Appreciate you.
Like, share, and subscribe, anyone. Appreciate you all, everyone else, for coming by, and we'll see you again.
Solidarity, fam. Okay. See you soon. Bye.